Hey guys, welcome back. First thing I want to say is I hope everybody is staying safe. I know it's a time of uncertainty and the virus isn't the only thing that's really affecting people. There's a lot of mental problems that people have to deal with right now, having to stay home and not going to work and things like that. So I just want to say I hope you and your family are staying safe and everybody's staying healthy. So in today's video, what we're doing is upgrading some more outside lighting on the Escapade. So there's not a lot of lighting on this unit. Basically all there are lights on the inside. So you already saw our video of putting lights on the back of the camper. There's not anything on the sides of the camper either. So what I'm going to do is going to be adding some lights underneath the chassis, kind of where the doors are, so we can see when we get in and out at night to use the restroom or whatever we need. So what I've got is these inexpensive rock lights that I bought on Amazon quite a while back. I just haven't had a chance to install them yet. So these are by Amper, A-M-P-P-E-R. Basically it's a generic rock light. The box itself doesn't have any branding on it. It's just a sticker that says Amper. So that's technically the brand, I suppose. But anyway, these are an amber colored light. Amber is really good for nighttime so it doesn't disturb people around you. So when you open the box, basically all that comes in the box. So when you open the box, basically the only thing that comes in the box are the lights, and there is some mounting hardware in the little packages, which I won't be using in this situation. But you'll see the rock lights are really simple. They have a little mounting bracket and then just a little 2-wire that comes off of it, so ground and positive. So these should be simple to install. I do have a set of 4 of these. I might be adding some on the back just so we have a nice surround light around the camper, but for now we're just going to do under the doors and see how these do for us. I'm not sure how bright these are, so maybe I'll have to add the other 2 later anyway. So I'm only going to be using a few things for this installation. One obviously are the rock lights here. I do have some low voltage wire, again something I bought off of Amazon. Normally I would buy locally, which you should be doing right now to support your local businesses, but nobody really had anything like this in town, so this is what we're going to be using. It's just an 18 gauge wire, and it's paired so you get your ground and positive. I'm also just going to be using a simple termination kit to connect the rock lights to the wire. So this has some butt connectors that you can use to connect the wire to the existing pigtail on the rock lights. And then to attach the rock lights on the bottom of the camper, I'm going to be attaching it to the frame so it's kind of closer to the door. So I'm just going to be using some self-drilling screws. So on these rock lights, all you see, there's 2 holes here. So that'll be what we use to attach these rock lights to the bottom of the camper. There's a pass-through hole for the wire on the side of these little rubber mounting brackets. I'm not going to be using that. There's actually a little bit of space here. If you can see that, there's a little curvature to it. The wire will actually fit right through that little divot in the mounting bracket, so we can run this and connect to our wire that goes inside the camper. So as far as running wire inside the camper, I'll be using the same hole back here in this front corner that you've seen in previous videos where we've been adding and upgrading. And then I'll be running it up through this corner here and into the electrical panel. It is a little bit of a mess right now since I'm adding and upgrading and things like that. I haven't had a chance to clean this up. But anyway, the wire will be running right into our fuse panel here, and then we will be connecting the wire to a switch. So here is where you'll see the switches that I've ran for the heater, as well as the lights on the back of the camper, and then some under cabinet lights that I've installed. So those are on the top of the counter here. So I'll just be adding one more switch here. So then it'll be easy to turn the lights on and off when we need to enter or exit the camper at nighttime. So the first thing I want to do is kind of locate where I'm going to be installing the lights on the camper. So you'll see underneath the frame, this is actually, so right underneath the door here, there's a little frame rail section right here, and I think that's where I'm going to be installing the new lights. So you'll see that these will fit right about there, and that'll allow us to see when we get out of the door at night. So I'll center it underneath of the door itself, so when you turn them on, you'll have a nice pathway of light when you leave the camper. So this will make it easy to run wire into the cabinet inside the camper. This is right where our wire loom goes up into the camper from previous installations, so we'll be able to follow that right in there. So you can see I've got the rock light mounted directly underneath of our door. And I also have our wire ran up into the camper, and then I have a second wire here which will run over to the other rock light that's going to go on that other side. I also decided to add in some shrink tube so that since we are putting these connections underneath the camper, that the shrink tube will keep everything from corroding later on down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and connect all the wires together here and see what we end up with. So as you can see here, I've got all the wires connected and then some shrink tube surrounding the connections that we've made here, and then it can go up underneath the camper once everything's kind of attached. This other one that's still connected to the reel of wire, that's what I'm going to run across underneath the camper and over to the other rock light. I've got the wire ran across, so you can see it's stapled underneath of the camper here. I have it stapled to the wood, and I'll be sealing up each one of those staples just so we don't have any problems with water. And I do have our second rock light installed here. So again, I'll use some butt connectors as well as some heat shrink, and I will go ahead and get this second rock light connected to our wire here. So just to kind of show you what these crimps look like in case you've never used them. So these butt connectors have an open end on both sides, and then you slide the wire in. Each one of these is size for the gauge of wire that you're going to be using. So some of these wire kits like this come with a crimper, but I recommend just buying the butt connector kit and terminal kit separately and getting a nice pair of crimpers. I use these commercial electric crimpers. I really do like using the Klein ones, but as a budget option, these are actually really nice. So you can see on the crimper themselves, they have a non-insulated and an insulated part where you can crimp these connectors. So these ones are insulated, so that's the sheathing on the outside. So you'll use the insulated crimp area, and then you'll just grab onto them and then crimp them like so. And then you just want to check your connectors and make sure they're nice and tight. So now you'll see I've got the rock lights all connected and all the wire nice and tight up underneath the camper. So next thing I'm going to do is go inside the camper, install our switch, and then connect everything to the fuse panel. So we've got our wire up into the camper, so it comes up in that corner I showed you earlier. And then the line that goes out to the lights goes directly to the switch. So on this switch you can see there's 3 terminals. One is neutral or ground. The middle is our load, so that would be the lights, and then the line from the battery would be the bottom one here. So then when you switch this on, that'll connect the line and the load wires together internally, so then that would cause the lights to come on. So now I just have to connect our battery terminals up to our fuse block over here. So just to show you what it kind of looks like, these are the little ring terminals that are going to connect to our fuse block. So here are our 2 grounds, one from the switch, one from the lights themselves. And those are just connected together because every ground in the camper goes to the same spot anyway. And then our line goes to the switch, to the line terminal on that switch. The line, or the hot, is going to go to our terminal here, and then I have a grounding block down here on the bottom, so I'll just connect those grounds up to there. So you can see I've got our grounds connected here, and then our line out to the switch here. Now we have to add a fuse in. I've only got those two little LEDs in there, so they're not going to draw much, so I'm just going to use a 5 amp fuse. I keep a little storage container of fuses in here just in case. So I went ahead and put the fuse in, so that will allow us to turn this switch on and see if our lights work. Of course, it's really sunny today, so it's kind of hard to tell. Obviously, you're not going to see it on the ground, but if I stick my hand under there, you can see we have a nice amber light coming from the rock lights. Let's go around and check the other side. So you can see here, nice bright amber glow from there, and I can actually see it pretty far down, so it seems like these will be bright enough for underneath the camper. Well, if you haven't noticed, it's definitely dark out now, so now we can try out these rock lights and see if they're gonna work out. I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera over here and go turn these on. Alright, so you can see the rock light there underneath the door, so that actually is pretty nice. It doesn't shine very far, so it's definitely not like a porch light that would shine out a little further, but so you can get out, put your shoes on if you need to, and it doesn't really disturb past the camper. Go around to the other side. I think that's pretty nice. Let's get a view of it from the front. So you can see the light bleed. It doesn't go very far at all. I mean, it's only maybe 3 feet from the camper and then it stops. So if you could see my truck there, it really doesn't shine on the truck at all. So you're not going to be bothering anybody out camping if you're in close quarters. Give you an idea what it looks like when you're getting out of the camper. So it just gives a nice glow. You're getting out, you could get your shoes on, make sure there's nothing there. So not too bad. Well, that's today's video. Nice little upgrade to the lighting on the Escapade. So far so good on this guy. You saw in our last video we took it up and did some off-roading a little bit and kind of showed off the heater and whatnot in here, so make sure you check out those videos. But I really appreciate you guys checking out my videos and supporting the channel. We're up to, I think, 80 subscribers now. I know it's not a lot compared to some other guys, but I think we'll get there. Anyway, again, thank you for watching. If you have any questions on this project or any other project we've done on the Escapade, just let me know in the comments below and I'll answer as soon as I see you. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on the next one.